Well, as a child, my family was involved in a cult. It was how I learned of love and of God. As a teenager, I was home alone a lot while my mom worked graveyard. And I started, having friends over, mostly boys to keep me company. Then one day my mom decided to play the mom role and told me that I could no longer be with my boyfriend, Joey, at the time, who was my boyfriend and my best friend and my first love. She kicked me out at 16 and things went downhill from that point. When Joey and I broke up, I met a music producer who basically promised me that all my dreams of being the next Mariah Carey would come true. Then one day in one of those hotel rooms, he raped me and took my virginity. Then I met Joseph. I fell deeply, unconditionally in love with him. And then pregnancy number 1. I immediately became pregnant and he kept saying that he hated kids. I went to all my doctor's appointments, heard the baby's heartbeat, started feeling the baby moving, until the day he and his aunt picked me up and forced me into an abortion when I was 5.5 months pregnant. A year later, pregnancy number 2, I heard about the CPC and went to the office a couple times. Basically, I called the CPC and then hung up because I chickened out. This time, I was 5.5 months pregnant again. I was home alone, crying hysterically, singing to my baby, just praying, like wanting more than anything to know that I could do this, that I could raise this baby that I had basically grown bonded to. If just one person would have said the words that I longed to hear, I would have done that. I was extremely irrational that night, and I ended up, later that night, I became purposeful and determined to shut off all of my emotions and my feelings towards this baby growing inside of me, and chose to force myself into numbness. So the following evening, which was January 29, 2001, I no longer had a baby. In order to support myself, I resorted to dancing, and I became very confused in my search for love, and had lots of lesbian friends. Then I was introduced to Lace. He was kind of cute, and I thought maybe he would distract me from the guilt I felt over the lifestyle that I was currently living. Then pregnancy number 3. And he said to me, "So, you're gonna get an abortion, right? You're not gonna be a dancing pregnant girl, right?" It started out, I would sleep the days away, basically, and I was extremely depressed. And then one day I just decided to give God full control of my life and just of everything going on, and just cast it all on him. And I chose to trust him completely. I quit dancing, so I had no job, no car. My car had been repoed, no food, no money. And then the last time I spoke to Lace, I was 5.5 months pregnant, and I had just found out that I was having a girl. Well, miracles ended up happening, a lot of them. I got a job, someone gave me a car, and the CPC was an amazingly endless support to me during that time. I ended up moving into Sarah's House Maternity Home here in Simi Valley, and then I gave birth to my beautiful daughter Leilani on June 30th, 2002. Then in 2004, I found out that I was pregnant with twins. Then after about 9 months of personal struggle, losing one of my babies, I gave birth to my precious boy Malachi on October 17th, 2006. To me, having a child has to be the greatest gift that God has ever given to a woman. I want to see my children smile every day, to experience the joys and even the sorrows of being their mommy. One day, all 5 of my children, wow, will be with me in heaven. I know that if each young woman faced with the choices and the fears that I was faced with, each of these women even had like one person that they could go to. One person holding their hand, just letting them know that everything would be okay. One person just expressing to them how much God loves his children, you know, that so many wouldn't make the decision to abort. And the CPC is exactly that. They, you know, come alongside you, and since those hopeless adolescent years that I went through, the CPC is a place that I knew I could go to when everyone else seemed to desert me and abandon me. I would really just like to thank you so much for your endless support and for being there. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have my 2 children that I have today. And because of you, I know that one day I will be able to be with all 5 of my children in heaven. And knowing that brings more joy to my heart, you know, than I could ever imagine.